Hello students, myself Parveen Huda from Pandit Negiram Sharma Government College, Rohtak. Our next topic is second latent heat equation and phase diagram. In the previous lecture, we have discussed about first latent heat equation and also discussed the applications of the same equation. In today's lecture, we will cover the topic second latent heat equation, phase diagram, triple point, and its uniqueness. All these topics belongs to the first paper of third semester of graduation course computer programming and thermodynamics. Hello students, our next topic is second latent heat equation. First of all, I am telling you about this equation. This equation was obtained by Clausius. It gives the variation of latent heat of a substance with temperature. It also gives a relationship between the specific heat of a liquid in contact with its vapor and the specific heat of vapors in contact with its liquid. Now we have to derive this equation which gives these relations. Look at the PV diagram. Again we have two curves ABCD and EFGH. Again the substance at A is in pure vapor state, and when we increase the pressure from A to B, the substance remains in vapor state, but when we reach at point B and keep the pressure constant, the substance starts to change its state from vapor to liquid up to point C. At C the substance completely in liquid form, and from C to D if we further increase the pressure, there will be no change in the phase of the substance. Similarly, EFGH explain the same phenomena. Now, as ABCD and EFGH both are isothermals, so let us say ABCD is an isotherm at temperature T and EFGH represents an isotherm at temperature T minus dt. From C to B, the substance is in isothermal state at temperature T, and from going B to F, if we draw a Carnot cycle having isotherm CB and FG and adiabatics BF and GC, then when we go from B to F, the temperature of the substance falls down because at point B the temperature is T and at point F the temperature is T minus dt. So we can say from here that the temperature of the substance falls by amount dt. From F to G the substance is at constant temperature T minus dt, and from G to C again adiabatic process in which the substance temperature increases by the amount dt from T minus dt to T. Okay, now its derivation. Let us consider the cycle CBFGC In this cycle, Cb represents an isotherm having temperature T. Let us say the substance is initially at point C. So when the substance passes from C to B at constant temperature T and pressure P, the substance changes its state from liquid to vapor, because at point B the substance is in pure vapor state. When the substance changes its state from C to, in going from C to B, it absorbs an amount of heat equal to L, which is the latent heat of the substance when it changes its phase from liquid to vapor. When the substance passes from B to F adiabatically, then clearly we can see that the temperature of the substance falls by an amount dt, but the state of temperature remains same, because at B and at F the substance is in vapor state. So the phase of substance is not changing when we go from B to F, but the temperature changes by an amount dt, because at point B the temperature is T and at point F temperature is T minus dt. So temperature of substance falls down by an amount dt. So we can say that when the substance goes from B to F, it rejects an amount of heat equal to C1 dt, where C2 dt, where C2 is the specific heat of the substance in its vapor state. Along Fg, when the substance passes from F to G, again the temperature is constant at T minus dt and at temperature P minus dP, but the state of the substance changes from vapor to liquid by giving out an amount of heat equal to L minus dL. And when the substance passes from point G to C adiabatically again, then the state of substance doesn't change, but the temperature of the substance increases by an amount dt. So along GC the substance absorbs an amount of heat equal to C1 dt, where C1 is the specific heat of the substance in its liquid state when it is in contact with vapors. That is, C1 is the specific heat of the liquid with its vapors, and C2 is the specific heat of vapors in contact with its liquid, because at point B and F the substance is in vapor state but in contact with its liquid state. So here we assume the specific heat as C2, and at point G and C, at both these points the substance is in its liquid state but also in contact with its vapor state. This specific heat is represented by C1. Now if we find the net amount of heat absorbed during this Carnot cycle, then from C to B heat absorbed equal to capital L, which is latent heat. From B to F heat rejected by an amount C2 dt. From F to G heat given out, that is heat rejected by the substance, equal to L minus dL, and from G to C heat absorbed by the substance equal to C1 dt. So net amount of heat absorbed is equal to sum of all these heats. So as L and C1 dt both are absorbed by substance, so both these heat will be positive, L plus C1 dt, and C2 dt and L minus dl both the heats are given out by the substance, so they will be negative. Now by adding all these four, we get net amount of heat absorbed equal to C1 minus C2 multiplied by dt plus dl. Let us say this is our equation 1. Also we know that the work done for a Carnot cycle is equal to the area enclosed by the Carnot cycle, and here we have taken the Carnot cycle CBFGC, which is similar to the Carnot cycle CBMLC. ठीक है. Then the area of this Carnot cycle will be equal to pressure multiplied by volume, and pressure change during this Carnot cycle is clearly dP, because along FG the pressure is P minus dP and along BC the pressure is P, so pressure is changed by an amount dP, and volume at C is V1 and volume at B is equal to V2, so the volume is changes by amount V2 minus V1. Then the area equal to dP multiplied by V2 minus V1. So from here we also get amount of heat absorbed, and let us say this is equation. So we have two equations 1 and 2 for the net amount of heat absorbed by the substance during the Carnot cycle. Now we also know that from first latent heat equation, which relates the change of pressure with respect to change of temperature, was given by dP by dt is equal to L by T V2 minus V1. From here we can find the value of dP multiplied by V2 minus V1, which will be equal to L by T dt. Let us say this is represented by equation 3. Now equation 2 gives us net amount of heat absorbed by the substance by taking the area enclosed by the Carnot cycle in consideration, whose value was equal to dP multiplied by V2 minus V1. But by use of first latent heat equation, we have value of dP multiplied by V2 minus V1 is equal to L by T dt. So we can say that L by T dt is the net amount of heat absorbed by the substance So from equation 1, 2 and 3, as all these three equations represents the net amount of heat absorbed, we can equate equation 1 by 2 and by 3. If we put 1 equal to 2 equal to 3, we can write C1 minus C2 dt plus dl, which was our first equation, will be equal to L by T dt, because from 3 L by T dt is equal to dP multiplied by V2 minus 1, while from 2 net amount of heat absorbed is dP multiplied by V2 minus V1, which should be equal to equation 1. So from 1, 2 and 3 we can write C1 minus C2 multiplied by dt plus dl is equal to L by T dt. Now we have first term and the first term in the left hand side and the right hand side term. Both these terms have dt. If we divide this equation by dt thoroughly, we get C1 minus C2 plus dl by dt is equal to L by T. If we take minus sign common from all the terms in left hand side and right hand side, we get C2 minus C1 minus dl by dt is equal to L by T. If we take the second term of left hand side is in right hand side, then we can find the value of C2 minus C1, which relates the specificity of a substance in vapor state in contact with its liquid, and the specificity of the substance in liquid state when it is in contact with its vapors is equal to dl by dt, that is variation of latent heat with respect to temperature, plus L by T, which will be a constant term. So we have difference between two specific heats, C2 minus C1 equal to dl by dt plus L by T. This equation is known as second latent heat equation, and this is a very important equation when we have to relate two specific heats of a substance. And also this equation is useful when we have to find variation in latent heat with respect to temperature. This equation is widely used in both these cases. Our next topic is phase diagram and triple point. So before discussing the phase diagram, now we will generally give idea about the phases of a substance. The substance may be in solid phase, liquid phase, or vapor phase. And now we discuss the modes of phase changes, that is the process through which the substance can change its phases. First of all, we discuss melting. Melting is the process in which a substance changes its state from solid to liquid. Generally, all the substances expands on melting except ice. When ice melts in and converts into water, its volume decreases. So this is the exceptional case. Next phenomena is vaporization. That is when a process in which the substance changes its state from liquid to vapor. Sublimation. Sublimation is the process in which the substance directly converts its phase from solid to vapor, and its example is iodine, also dry ice. Both of these are example of a sublimation process. Now the reverse of all these three processes are fusion, which is reverse of melting, that is when substance changes its state from liquid to solid. Liquefaction, a process in which substance changes from vapor to liquid state, and hoarfrost, which is a reverse process of sublimation, that is from gaseous substance to solid directly. Now we will discuss the phase diagram. Here I have plot a PT diagram, that is pressure temperature diagram, also known as phase diagram. O represents the triple point, that is a point at which the substance simultaneously coexists in three equilibrium states: liquid, solid and vapors simultaneously. In this diagram I have shown a solid line OC, solid curve OC, solid curve OB, and two dotted curves OA and OA dash. So now let us start from OA. OA is ice line whose slope is negative. Its slope is negative because if we look at first latent heat equation, which was dP by dt is equal to L by T V2 minus V1, that is dP by dt is inversely proportional to V2 minus V1. And in case of ice, when it melts to water, its volume decreases, that is V2 minus V1 becomes negative. And when V2 minus V1 negative, dP by dt negative, and dP by dt is slope of the curve. So clearly AO is a negative slope curve and called ice line. This curve exists only in case of water. For other substances, curve OA dash exists because all other substances, when they melt down from solid to liquid state, their volume increases. So V2 minus V1 positive, therefore their slope dP by dt is also positive. So OA dash is known as fusion line for all substances except water. Clear? OC is a sublimation line which shows the process of conversion of substance from solid to vapor state. On left side of sublimation line, the substance is in solid state, and on right side of sublimation line, the substance is in vapor state. Similarly for OA, in left side the substance is in solid state, and on right side from OA the substance is in liquid state, that is water. And for other substances, left hand side of OA dash represents their solid state, and right hand side from OA dash to OB represents their liquid state. OB is a vaporization line which gives the conversion of liquid into vapor state. The left hand side from OB represents the liquid state of a substance, and the right hand side of OB represents the gaseous state of the substance. So this was our phase diagram. Now triple point. Triple point is a point on phase diagram under which a substance can coexist in equilibrium simultaneously in solid, liquid and vapor state. And in this pressure temperature diagram, the triple point was denoted by O. Clearly in figure, the O point shows the triple point because at O, all the three phases of the substances are coexist. In this topic, we have to prove the uniqueness of triple point. That is, there exists only a single triple point. So let us take a let us draw a PT diagram, and we are assuming here that the triple point is not unique. That is, all the three phase lines, that is vaporization line, fusion line and sublimation line, are not meeting at a single point. Therefore they are different, they are meeting at different 3 points D, E and F, which are shown on diagram clearly. Now to prove the uniqueness of triple point, let us consider any point in triangle DEF. The point in triangle DEF is towards the right side of sublimation line CF, because here CF represents the sublimation line, and on the right side of sublimation line is its vapor state, and on left side of CF is the solid state of the substance. AD is fusion line, below which the substance lies in solid state and above which the substance lies in vapor state, liquid state. EB is vaporization line, above which, on left hand side of the EB the substance is in liquid state, and below EB the substance is in vapor state. So if we consider a point in triangle DEF, and by taking the consideration of sublimation curve CF, the point lies towards the right side of CF, which means the substance is in vapor state. At the same time, if we consider the sublimation line AD, the point lies below AD, because in triangle DEF every point lies below the line AD. Therefore the substance should be in solid state. Now every point in triangle DEF corresponds to vaporization line EB is always above from the line. Therefore the substance should be in liquid state. But this is not possible, that the substance is in all the three states at a single time if triple point is not unique. So this proves the uniqueness of triple point, and the temperature and pressure at which the triple point exists are called triple point pressure and triple point temperature.